I'm showing you how easily you can make this tasty dip with colorful layers of refried beans, guacamole, cottage cheese lime crema, shredded cheese, tomatoes, cilantro, and green onion. And they're all bursting with flavor from garlic, lime juice, and seasonings. We're gonna start by preparing all our layers and then we'll assemble our dip. So we'll begin with our refried bean layer. And to make it quick and easy, I'm using two 16-ounce cans of refried beans. And to make the beans a little creamier, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of my homemade mayonnaise, which is so delicious. And I've included a link in the video description below if you'd like to check it out. And for seasonings, I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just gonna use my hand mixer to mix these together till they're nice and smooth. Now we can set this aside. Next, we're gonna make our guacamole. So I'm gonna take 3 ripe avocados and simply cut them in half, twist off the end, and then with a large spoon, just scoop it right into a mixing bowl. But be careful not to get the little stem. And now that we have 3 avocados in the bowl, we're gonna add our seasoning. We're gonna start by taking a lime and just cutting it in half. Just give it a quick squeeze. And then for seasoning, I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then start with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I can always add more after I've mixed it together. And then I'll just go in and mix these together until smooth. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. And we'll go in for a pinky test. That's perfect for my taste. And then we can set this aside. To make my cilantro lime crema with cottage cheese, I'm going to use the chopper cup that comes with my immersion blender. And I'm going to start with 1 cup of cottage cheese, and you can use low fat, non-fat, large curd, small curd, whatever your preference. Then I'll add 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, and then I'll start with 3 tablespoons of light olive oil. And then for delicious flavor, we're going to add our lime juice. And I'm going to take 1 lime here and cut it in half, and then use my little lime squeezer. And out comes the juice. I'll squeeze the other half. And then I've just peeled 1 clove of garlic, and then I'm just gonna finely chop it and add 1 clove of garlic to our bowl. And then I'll take a bunch of cilantro and cut off the leaves and then give them a rough chop. So we'll add 1/4 cup of cilantro leaves. Then we'll add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon onion powder. And then I'll simply put on the lid and mix until it's well combined. And then we get this beautiful lime crema. Now we can prep the rest of our ingredients, and I'm gonna start with cheese. And you can use any kind that you like. I prefer to use a medium or sharp cheddar cheese and then grate it myself because the pre-shredded cheese has been coated with cellulose, which keeps those little cheese strands from sticking together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a little bit of elbow grease to shred the cheese and burn a few calories. And then I'll go ahead and transfer this to a bowl. And then I'm just gonna finely dice 1 green onion to be able to garnish on top of our dip. I like to use both the green part on top as well as some of the white. Then I'll cut the leaves off of a bunch of cilantro and then squish them all together and finally dice these as well. And then I'm gonna finely dice 2 Roma tomatoes. You could also use your favorite store-bought or homemade salsa for this layer. Now I also need a can of olives, and you can either buy them whole or you can buy them pre-sliced. I went ahead and bought these whole and then sliced them myself. And then I separated the really nice middle slices from the end slices in 2 separate bowls. Well, now that we have all of our ingredients together, we can start assembling our dip. You can choose to assemble your dip in either a 9x13 pan, or you can use a trifle dish, which just makes it a little more fun and aesthetic. In either case, we'll want to start with our refried beans. So I'm going to plop them right into the center of my bowl. Now I'll start spreading out the refried beans starting from the middle, and then I'm just going to gently push it to the outside so it makes a nice solid layer. Now we can add in this beautiful bowl of green guacamole to the top of the refried beans. And again, I'm just gonna dump it right in the middle of my bowl. And then I'm just gonna gently start spreading it towards the outer edge. This next step is completely optional, but I think it looks really cool. I'm gonna add a ring of these sliced olives all the way around the dish. So you'll just take an olive and press it against the glass above the guacamole, and then you'll gently push it down into the green. If you could use more healthy inspiration on a regular basis, I invite you to join my email list. All you have to do is click on the link in the video description, and that is the best way for us to stay connected. And by pressing it into the glass first, you create a little bit of a suction, and it will keep the olive right against the glass so it looks really beautiful. And then I'll just continue to push these in all the way around the bowl. Now that all of the olives are pressed in, we can go ahead and add our lime crema layer. And I found the neatest and easiest way to get this pressed into our dish is to first put it into a sandwich bag, and then we can simply pipe it in. So I've just taken a regular sandwich bag, put it inside of a bowl for support, and then we'll go ahead and just add our cream right inside. And once we have all the cream inside, we can gently press out the air. And I'm just gonna cut about a 1/2-inch triangle off of one corner. And then we're gonna start by piping this cream above our olives, and we'll go all the way around our bowl. And making sure to pipe it right over the top of the olives. And now that we've gone all the way around the outside, we can go ahead and start filling in the center. And then I can just take my spatula and smooth it down. We are on the home stretch, so now we can add in our cheese. And again, we'll push it towards the outside just to make sure we get that really beautiful orange layer. And now I'm gonna sprinkle on some of our chopped cilantro right on top of the cheese. Then we'll add in all of our tomatoes. I'll make sure to press some of these up against the glass so we get that beautiful darker orange layer. And then we'll add a nice pile of black olives right in the middle. And then we'll finish it off with some of our green onions. And I love the contrast of this lime green against the black olives. Yes, we're making art with our 7-layer bean dip. Well, that looks amazing, and I promise heads are going to turn when you walk into your next party with this dish. Well, I am dying to try this, but I'm actually taking it to a party tonight, so I can't dig into it just yet. So thankfully, I have a batch that I made yesterday. The nice thing about having the avocado layer buried a little bit deeper in the dip is that it's going to stay better longer in your fridge. Go in with my chip, make sure I get all those layers. Crunchy. That is so good. That is one giant bite of delicious. I get the texture and richness of the beans, and then I get the creaminess coming in from the avocado as well as from that lime crema. And the lime juice just kind of travels throughout and just gives this really bright flavor to it. That is amazing, and I love that it's made with clean, natural ingredients, which means I'm gonna feel just as good even after I eat it. And I know that everyone at my party can enjoy it regardless of any gluten allergies. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today to make this dip. I've included a link in the video description below to the full recipe, and it's on my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love this recipe, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen next time.